You know, the world is a pretty crazy place, as should be obvious by now. So, from time to time, I try and do a little bit of a less serious video because I do believe laughter is a very important thing. However, never did I expect to have to do a video about whether or not Donald Trump is really Elvis Presley. One reason I thought I'd cover this is that I have seen quite a number of comments on my videos about Trump being Elvis, going back basically for about a year now. And for the most part, I have just dismissed that as being too silly to talk about. However, it does appear that many people think Elvis and Trump are the same guy. Perhaps not too surprisingly, one person who has often said that Donald Trump looks like Elvis Presley is, in fact, Donald Trump. Even going back to 2018 during a speech in Tupelo, Mississippi. In case you don't know, Tupelo, Mississippi is where Elvis Presley was born. But during that 2018 speech, Donald Trump said this: "I shouldn't say this, you'll say I'm very conceited, because I'm not, but other than the blonde hair, when I was growing up they said I looked like Elvis. I always considered that a great compliment." There were also a number of Trump NFT trading cards in which Trump struck a pose exactly like Elvis. There was also the song called Justice for All, which was a rendition of the Star-Spangled Banner, sung by the people who were convicted for the January 6, 2021 attack on the Capitol, and the song had a snippet of a Trump speech. Trump said that song going to #1 on some charts made him feel like Elvis. So Trump has been comparing his own looks to Elvis for quite a few years now. Coincidentally, Elvis was called the king of rock and roll, and Donald Trump basically considers himself a king, so it would make sense that he would associate himself with anyone called a king. The image you see on the screen, which is half Elvis and half Trump, was posted by Trump at the beginning of 2024, about a year and a half back now. Within a moment or two of Trump posting this image, other people kind of made a mockery of it, including one where it's half Richard Nixon and Donald Trump. But the fact that a lot of people think that Trump is Elvis kind of points out of how Trump is able to manipulate the truth at times. Even though most of us know that it's absolutely ridiculous that Donald Trump is Elvis Presley, nevertheless, a number of people think this is true. So let's look at this very quickly and just compare a number of pictures of Trump to Elvis at different ages and a couple of other things about the two men that, as you'll probably be able to see, are not too similar. First of all, the guy on the left here is Donald Trump. And I point that out because these two look so much alike, you may end up getting confused as we go on. But the guy on the left is Donald Trump. He was born on June 14th, 1946. The guy on the right is Elvis Presley. He was born 11 years before Trump on January 8th, 1935. In just a second, you'll understand why that 11-year age gap really does matter. This picture is Donald Trump at age 4 in 1950. We can see from this picture that Donald is becoming a very religious young boy as he's praying. At least that's what I assume he's doing. Either that or hiding something in his hands. Who knows what. But that's Trump at age 4 in 1950. This is Elvis in 1950. He is 15 years old. Now, if we put those two images side by side, it seems pretty obvious that there's too much similarity to be 100% sure that these are two different people, so I'm going to hold off on judgment right now. All I'm going to say that these two images are very close. If we go fast forward a few years, this is Donald at age 18, a picture from his high school yearbook. And this would be from 1964. By contrast, in 1964, this is Elvis on a set of one of his movies at the time. Trump is 18, Elvis is 29, and the age difference is obvious, although I'm going to hold off. I'll call this a draw too, because why not? Let's go fast forward a few years, and we have Donald with his father in 1973. Donald has said that his father gave him a small loan, quote unquote, of $1 million to start his real estate career. So maybe Donald is pointing out the exact spot where that transfer took place, but that is from 1973. So what was Elvis up to in 1973? Turns out that he was doing one of his tours, most notably in Hawaii. But if we put these two images side by side, the similarities are pretty strong, I have to admit. After all, no one has reported seeing Donald Trump and Elvis Presley together, so right now we have to lean toward the idea that they are the same person. Let's go forward another couple of years. This is Donald Trump in 1976, and this is Elvis in 1976. He's starting to put on some weight, but he continues touring. And I should also point out that Elvis was 6 foot tall. Trump has always claimed to be 6'3", but most people think he's not 6'3", so maybe Trump is 6 foot tall, just like Elvis. Coincidence? I don't know about that. But let's move on to the next year. In 1977, Trump famously married Ivanka in July of that year. In July of 1977, Elvis was touring, although as you can tell, he also put on additional weight and was reportedly approximately 260 pounds by the time he passed away, or allegedly passed away, I should say. But again, if we put Elvis and Trump side by side, there is no resemblance. There's a lot of resemblance, so we can't be exactly sure if these are two different men or not. But there are other things we can check to see if there's a similarity. For example, here's a few seconds of Elvis dancing, and then let's compare it to Trump. So again, we see there's a lot of similarities to how Trump and Elvis dance. However, Elvis also had an exceptional singing voice, even up to just a few weeks before he died. Here's a short snippet of him singing How Great Thou Art. Oh my God! Now, I couldn't find any examples of Trump singing, and believe me, I looked for some examples of Trump singing. There are, of course, a number of AI videos of Donald Trump singing, or Barron Trump singing, or the Trump family singing, but as far as legitimate videos of Donald Trump actually singing in real life, I could not find anything. However, this is the wedding photo from Trump and Ivanka back in 1977. Again, the year that Elvis died, or supposedly died. And I'm assuming from looking at this wedding photo that they had music at the reception. In July of 1977, the #1 album in the country was Rumors by Fleetwood Mac, and the #1 song was Dancing Queen by ABBA. Is it really too far of a stretch to imagine Trump singing Dancing Queen or Go Your Own Way? I don't think it is. After all, he does love to show off his dance moves, and he has gone his own way. I don't think anyone can argue with that. You can go your own way. But anyway, the bottom line on whether or not Donald Trump is Elvis is no, he's not Elvis Presley. It's a ridiculous thing to seriously believe. There is an 11.5-year age gap between the two. We can tell that they are clearly different people at various stages during the same year. But my message to anyone who believes that Trump is Elvis is that maybe you want to take a break from social media for a while, and especially take a break from those Christian preachers on YouTube who put forth this idea that Trump is Elvis. It's simply nonsense. Too many of us are getting wrapped up in these crazy ideas that are made for itching ears. And some of us have allowed Donald Trump to manipulate reality, to spew forth some of the craziest things we have ever heard, and he's only doing it in order to see what sticks. Trump doesn't care about the truth. He cares about things that'll make him look great in some way. And if a few people start to think he's really Elvis, that makes him look great in his own mind.